It's also better quality.
Do hummingbirds in Hawaii?
No,
Really?
no.
You don't make it over the ocean?
Only North and South America.
Is that right?
Now they do have
And the bees.
some nectar feeding birds on the Indian subcontinent, but they can't hover, fly backwards,
Oh, they can't.
or do a lot of the things the hummingbirds do. When the Spanish first sent reports back about having seen hummingbirds, they were not believed.
Really? Did they think of them as something else, like fairies or something?
Yeah.
I think the first Spanish word was flying jewels.
And I'm trying to count them, and I can't even get the note.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I'll bet there's hundreds that come through here every day. Oh, fight with the bees.
Yeah, they have pretty much worked out détente with the bees.
And they've.
The bee knows if it stings, it'll die, and the hummingbird knows if it gets stung, it'll die. So they kind of avoid it.
Am I too late for the party?
No, they're just getting started.
Yeah, they're really amping up just in the last like 30 seconds.
It's crazy. They have my little purple ones. And I see those when I'm out on my walks.
There's your little piece. Yeah.
Acosta's here again tonight because they're mating and drove all the others off. But the black chins and others will be coming back soon.
Wow. Oh, and is that ball for anything? Is that for stuff to make their nest?
That has alpaca wool in it.
Oh.
And the ball itself is sisal, which is like a very rough twine. And inside it's alpaca wool. And they use the sisal for the structure and the alpaca wool to padding. I used to take like the hair from my brushes and combs and stick it out for them. But then I read that human hair has too much tensile strength. And it can tangle and kill them.
Oh, okay.
So I quit doing that.
Yeah. What about lint from the dryer? No, because there's too much.
You don't know what it is.
Okay.
Things like artificial fibers and stuff, we don't know. And the other thing I started doing was I quit taking down spider webs because they use spider webs on the outside of their nest. And that's because...
Speaking of spider webs, I told myself, because I noticed this past October, when I was taking my spider webs down, the fake ones that I put up, I saw a little guy taking, I'm like, oh no, I can't put these up anymore. Yeah. That's why I took my decorations down early this year. I was like, oh my god, no. Like, I'm going to get a knock on my door.
Yeah.
Becoming a little wall. Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
Well, no, because I used to use these, right? I would buy those synthetic spider webs, right? Me trying to be clever on my Reese block, and then I noticed one in the little thing, and he would come every day. Well, I'm assuming it's male. I don't know. You can educate me, but I would notice that when he was coming all the time, I'm like, what is he grabbing? And he was yanking the spider web off the block. I'm like, oh no.
Well, and they don't use just any spider web. Steve was telling me they use black widows.
Oh, because it's the stickiest.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's like, scary too.
They wrap the outside of their nest when it's first built with spider webs. And that's because the nest expands as the babies grow. and their nests are only single use.
Single use nest.
Yeah.
There's no hermit birds out there.
No.
I just started following a guy who is helping hermit crabs to get like better shells. So in Okinawa,
I've seen that.
have you seen it? Because in Okinawa, well, there's a lot of places because
I
of
love
all of
the
the
pagoos.
plastic.
Oh,
Yeah, and so the crabs are coming. You know, they're born without shells, so they go looking for a shell, and then now they're finding these like little plastic lids and things, and then they live in those. So when he started noticing that, he's like, I can't do this. So he started collecting shells, and he said, well, because so many people collect shells, and also just the shelling of things.
Sure.
There's not enough shells for them even. So he engraves little messages on the back of them, and then he puts them out, and he says it takes about 30, you can take anywhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes for a hermit crab to decide on his shell. So he'll put them down, he'll put like 5 or 6 of them down, and then he'll go around, he'll look around, and then he'll crawl into the one he wants, and then off he goes. And then he relieves the little plastic piece, and so this guy, he said, I've collected over 150 plastic pieces. So he's like giving new homes to 150 crabs. Isn't that great?
That's in Okinawa?
Yeah, in Okinawa, I'm supporting this one because that's as a kid I grew up loving hermit crabs. I would just hang out with them at the beach and put my hands down and let them crawl all over. And,
Yeah.
My dad was in the Navy. And he was stationed on Whidbey Island in the Puget Sound. They have hermit crabs and dungeons. It was a great place to be a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, the Salish natives on the Sound, one of their like proverbs is low tide, everybody's fed, because all you got to do is walk out and get the clams.
Right. Wow.
Now, where does everybody live? Like, what trees do you think everybody lives in?
The oak trees across the street, the ones towards Calle Fierro are very popular because there's a nesting pair of Cooper's hawks there. And they don't hunt hummingbirds, but they do hunt mockingbirds, jays, birds that do hunt hummingbirds.
Security.
Yeah.
Built-in security system.
Hi, little girl.
Boy, they are really amping it now.
Gotta feed before our long sleep.
Right.
You're gonna catch it.
So I have one hummingbird in the garden now that meets me at the gate and walks me down the sidewalk. It's the cutest thing ever. So I'm trying to get, I think it's a female actually, now that I think about it. So I'm trying to get her to take the liquid out of this little thing I got. She got real close today, but it'll take a minute probably.
Yeah. I used to sit with my mom, like, I would remember Sunday mornings, my mom and old friends, they would do like Sunday brunch in Waikiki. My mom was a cocktail waitress in Waikiki, and on the Sundays it would be brunch day with everybody who all partied the night before. And as the only little kid, I would sit there at the table, and I would just hold. We would go to this place called the Tahitian Lanai, and they had banana muffins. And I would take a little piece of banana muffin, and I would just hold it like this, as still as I could. And the adults would all be, oh, there she goes again, trying to feed the birds and see what happens. And then sure enough, the birds would start coming to me, and I would just stay so still.
Yeah, that's the trick, isn't it?
And,
How long did it take one to...
It would take a little while each time, and then of course like a waitress would go by or something like that. But I would just wait and wait. My arm would get tired. And I was like, anything to keep me occupied. So they were happy with that. Oh my goodness, look at all of you. Look above. Oh my, really? Yeah.
I need to find one of these hooks, like these long
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Okay, so you put fruit in those other things?
Kitchen scraps. Vegetable peels, fruit peels, seeds.
It brings around the fruit flies and stuff too.
80% of their diet is insects.
Ah,
And
well
it's-
rounded.
Yeah.
Nutrition going on here.
And composting at the same time. I wish somebody would sit on my finger today.
I move my finger. Nobody's sitting.
No,
There's
just
a lot of
hovering.
I got
yeah, me too. So is your book called Healed by the Hummingbirds?
Did you write a book?
no.
I'm just feeling. I'm giving
Maybe
him a
you
book.
should.
The working title I've been kicking around, but having done zero writing, is Concierge to Tiny Birds.
Oh, look at that.
I see. That would be the steward of
Do you live here
birds.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that they can be so nice with the bees, you know. I'm sure they get entangles from time to time.
Yeah. Well, and if there's like a crack in the feeder or something, it'll get really swarmed with bees. I have to bring out a sage bundle, calm them down with some smoke, and then
Yeah. Does that do it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
when bees smell smoke,
Yeah.
it turns off some of their pheromones and stuff, because instead of getting angry and talking to each other when there's a wildfire, they need to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, it's my turn. It's my turn.
The bee lands on me.
Video I took the other night
I'll put her little feet on me.
Percher. They're killing me on these little things. They're adorable.